but it is what it is. You can find my customs under the same name on Customs Forge. I am the new kind of videographer, video editor guy. Any technical problems with video or audio, or if someone needs help with making videos, clips, collections, compilations, whatever, if they have questions about how to even do video editing or any of that stuff, I'm your guy. So I am here to give knowledge and to do work on videos for Unity and all that fun stuff.
Fantastic.
Am I the only other new person here?
And Slipnir, I think.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm Scarlet Blaze, otherwise known as Scarlet Blaze Games. I am also new. I think I joined Unity about a year ago, and I've come on as a graphic designer because I basically saw my friends' streams and were like, no, you need to fix that. You need panels, you need overlays, you need all these things. Let me just do them. So I've come here, and you're all going to have to put up with that as well.
Well, I happen to need new emotes one of these days.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have some requests.
Same.
Commission them.
Wait, you mean you can get money from making things?
Apparently.
Whoa.
You know,
Whoa.
it is a thing, apparently.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's like
I wouldn't know that. I just get money from fixing people's broken shit. That's what I do.
We don't pay in exposure bucks.
I get paid to make sure you all have alcohol.
Oh. Well, then cheers to you, Flinchy.
Then why am I drinking cheap beer?
So
What is that Budweiser?
No, it's Bud.
Yes.
Well, you know, Budweiser's like having sex in a canoe because it's fucking close to water.
It's likely yeasted water. It's fine. It's healthy. You know.
So it's like having sex in a canoe with a yeast infection. Fantastic.
Blazing start, right? Blazing start.
Right. All right. Next, Slip.
Yes. I'm Slip, or at least my online persona is Slipner, and I'm joining the events team, and I'm sorry for anything that happens in the future involving me.
Same though.
I love that we've both just started with apologies. That's such a good start.
I love it. It's almost like you guys are Canadian.
Hey, sorry, buddy.
I'm not your buddy.
I'm not your buddy, pal. But jokes aside, my name is the Gaming Metalhead. I'm also joining the events team of Rocksmith Unity. I am looking forward to meeting new people, helping people out, and guiding everyone their way into the festival. Hell yeah.
Fantastic. Red?
Well, they say that I'm a leader of the events team, but I don't think I am.
I mean, leader, no. Captain, yes.
Aye, that'd be true.
Hey, Captain always needs a first mate, right?
Go
Absolutely.
down with the ship, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, somebody's got to go down with him.
Oh, not in the band, so it's not me.
And I suppose that I am Flinchy. I am part of the events team, and I just kind of do things, try to host the VODcast whenever I can, and I'm our resident charity streamer.
Nice.
Yep, I raise money for all sorts of different organizations. Like the Humane Society contacts me every few months. I raise money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. I've done stuff for the Best Friends Animal Society, stuff like that. But that's pretty me, and I'm also a newbie guitarist. So teach me things, guys.
That'd be great. I mean, that's something I've been wanting to kind of get into. Is I just stream for fun. I stream guitar on Rocksmith. That's why I'm here. I participated in I think Shredfest 2 or 3. I did Symphony X, and then I did the Black Keys, and then we have Shredfest 5 coming up. And so it's just like it's something fun where we all get to just play our music and kind of get. I mean, we get to learn, we get to enjoy music, and show other people that they can learn off of Rocksmith as well. You know?
Absolutely.
What I'll say on the charity front is it's a lot easier to do a charity stream than you think. I did my first one for my 24-hour stream.
Yep.
That was a couple of months ago, and I think we raised about $200 or $300 for the COVID charity.
Nice.
And like a lot of people, I thought, my stream isn't big enough for this. I have to be this like massive streamer, but you really don't. You'd be surprised how much people come out for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think in the last 2 years since I started doing charity streams, I've raised almost $2,500 for charity.
Nice.
2,500 to almost 3,000 at this point, I think. So it's pretty easy to get started and do. So if you ever need any pointers on that, I can point you in the right direction.
Yeah, and even if you don't think you're big enough, like every single cent helps. That's the whole fucking point of charity. It's like anything you can gather is a positive.
Absolutely. There's just a few charities that I will not support, but I'm also very picky about the charities that I raise money for. Like, I've had people ask me if I'll raise money for PETA. I won't do it. 100%. But anywho, no, it's really easy to get started into charity stuff, and I've created a Tiltify for Unity now. So if anybody wants to get in on that, feel free. I still need Miss Rocktism to verify her account so that I can throw her ownership of it. But
hey, we got the raid.
Hey, we did.
I verified my account through the ownership of it because, of course, what could possibly go wrong?
Well, I
like you were saying, Scarny, you don't have to be a giant channel, and I've seen that in the Rocksmith community in general, people are always rehosting each other or hanging out in each other's channels. Because I mean, I can maybe play guitar for like 3 hours before I'm really cramping up and tired, and so it's fun to just watch other people's channels and be like, oh, I didn't know of that song or that band. Let me go get that custom so I can play it later.
See, that I get that a lot because I have a Beast in Black song that's not on Customs Forge. So, which somebody in Unity was kind enough to hook me up with that. Shout out to Dice Mally, because it's Sweet True Lies by Beast in Black, and I wanted that chart for her.
I might have to hit you up for that one.
Yeah,
It's an amazing song.
I
Isn't that
agree.
on Customs Forge anymore?
No,
Because
it's not on Customs Forge anymore.
Because I do have it, but I have an older version apparently before it was gone apparently.
Yeah, it is no longer
No,
on
no.
Customs Forge, and Des Mally just happened to have a chart for me for it. So I love it. I love playing that song, and the solo in it is primo.
Is there a bass solo in that? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh, you meant guitar. Oh, that we don't care about that.
See, again, though, Red.
You say there's a solo in it, but we all know that the only type of guitar that's acceptable is bass.
See, the thing. Here's the difference between a lead guitarist and a bassist. We don't have to count to 4, or occasionally 7.
I'm a rhythm guitar. I'm just gonna sit this out.
Yeah, you're in the same boat, Hida.
Lead shreds only. Shreds only. That is
Damn
all-
right.
I mean, I've been lied to. Ever since I got a bass, I've had to play more than one string.
Whoa!
What?
What's up with that?
What is this madness?
Yeah.
I will
Yeah,
say
I know.
that is the
I was also betrayed when I bought my first bass. It's like, what? I need to actually learn how to play 2 strings. What is this?
See, okay, Sam brings up a good point, but I have to ask, what the hell is time?
Yes.
I mean, we're all forgetting we'd be lost without drummers anyway.
Well, okay, to be fair, the bassist and the drums do have the most important jobs in the band.
Yeah.
I do have to admit
getting in
that.
the way of the lead guitar. Yeah,
But the
Well,
that's the job.
you know the old joke, right? A cymbal, a tom, and a snare falls off a cliff. But
so and the thing, speaking of that, Hida, have you ever noticed in Monster Hunter the amazing pun that's in the Gathering Hub? The cats' names are Budum and Tish.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I did not know that. I need to look that up.
Yep, I can confirm it. But no,
Mm.
on some real, if it wasn't for the bassists and the drummers, it would be the sound wouldn't be loud. That's their job. It's to make the band sound louder.
No, it's like Psychosticks say, this is not a song, it's a sandwich.
Yeah,
What will make you think
Exactly.
otherwise?
Yeah.
yeah,
You gotta have all your different pieces.
yep.
Mhm.
But the lead just makes everything sound pretty.
Hey, at least I can
Sometimes.
count to 4.
At least
I
you
would
can
say-
count to 4 or 7.
Yeah, getting back to like custom DLC, like making songs is another thing that gets people into Rocksmith and really trying to figure this stuff out. Even for Shredfest, there's a couple of songs where people are like, "Hey, I'm gonna finish making this custom so that this person can stream it for the first time on Shredfest." And
Absolutely.
that's another great learning tool. There's tons of programs, there's tons of literature, and we're trying to help the community get easier access to learning that stuff and figuring it out so they don't have to ask the same question twice. But I think that's another avenue that, like, if you're someone watching any of the Unity streams and you're like, I don't know if I could do any of this stuff, just start, and you will learn.
Yeah.
There's tons of people here to help you, and we all want everyone to play music, learn music, and kind of helps the community keep running. We'll have people keep coming in as they learn stuff.
Absolutely. I started playing guitar 16 months ago. And now I get people saying, "Hey, you do really well. How long have you been playing?" And I'm like, 16 months. They're like, "What?" And then they push me to get better because they want to see where I'll be in a year and a half, 2 years from now.
Yeah, I got something on a recent stream. It's like, oh, how long have you been playing? How long have you been playing bass for? It's like, oh, since November. It's like
what?
It kind of
Nice.
feels good, don't it?
since November. Well, it was the very end of November, so you probably say December. It's like, oh, you're much. Then the person replied, "Oh, you're much better than I thought you would be." It's like, is that a compliment? Is that a compliment?
I guess it's funny to see, just how I. Sorry, I'm a bit tired. It's amazing how far people can come in a short amount of time. I have been playing guitar on and off for a long time, and mainly played some chords or attempted to, and just thought I was too hard, so put my guitars aside, let the wood live and the strings rust, and just the fact that I was so tempted to pick up guitar again because I really wanted to do that. I really wanted to make one thing true. Like, I wanted to do something else instead of just sit around and look at my guitars, play Clone Hero.
I
So I
think
thought to plus the guitar aside and picked up Rocksmith again, and I think that was one of the best ideas ever.
I think sorry.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
I think for sure, if not for Rocksmith, I would have just stopped playing guitar straight up, because I think like a lot of people, I had guitar lessons, things going well. Then I grew up a little bit, started going to work. Suddenly, I was working on the days that my guitar lessons were, and then it just started to gather dust. For I think 2 or 3 years, I basically forgot how to play the guitar completely. And then Rocksmith came along, and suddenly I'm playing the guitar every day. So much so that I think I got tendonitis within the first 2 months of playing Rocksmith. But that's fine. That's fine. And I think I'm the best I'm confident enough to say that I think I'm the best I've ever been. And I've been playing guitar since I was 11.
Yeah,
But was I practicing? No.
People will ask sometimes in my channel, like, how long have I been playing? And I have been playing for 25 years, but sometimes I'm like, look, I'm sight reading the song for the first time, so if I don't get the solos, it's not my fault. I swear I'm good at guitar.
So
25 years. That's longer than I've been alive.
Right?
Really?
Are you that young?
I'm old here.
So, I actually had a guy come in like a week ago who started throwing like crazy requests at me. First one was Through the Fire and the Flames by Dragon Force. I play that one regularly, and I can hit it, or I can play with like almost or 84% accuracy 90% of the time. But then he throws things like Dance of Eternity by Dream Theater.
Stop. No, we were talking about this beforehand.
We
It's
were.
got hilarious time signature changes in the first half
does.
of the song.
But I'm sitting there and he accused me of cheating halfway through the song because I'm hitting 70% of the notes. And I'm like, okay, I am actually sucking ass on this. And then he was like, well, somebody else think of something shreddy. Then I got hit with The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
The original one or the remake from Guitar Hero 3?
The remake from Guitar Hero 3.
Oh, that's great. That's
And
absolutely fantastic.
yeah, and now I'm actually addicted to practicing that one, so 71% gang.
Nice.
There's definitely songs out there that sound hard but are easy to play, and then ones that sound easy and are hard to play. You get into the time signature ones where it's really about you trying to feel the groove and figure out where one is. And you're like, okay, there we go. And there's the measure. All right.
One song I can vouch for in sounding harder than it is to play is Knights of Sidonia.
Mm.
That song is deceptively easy. At least in my opinion.
That one's also a fun one just to shred on top of.
Oh, I know, right? I try to play that one at least once a day because it's just a ton of fun to play, especially at the end.
That is something that we all get. We get requests of like Through the Fire and Flames, Stairway to Heaven, Freedom.
I refuse to play Stairway. I won't do it.
We don't talk about that. That song's banned. I'm figuring.
It's you can't play it. It's
That's
a forbidden
just
song.
it is common etiquette to not ask for that.
Exactly. We all seen Wayne's World. If you haven't, watch it now.
No Stairway denied.
I would play it, but I just don't like the acoustic tone.
That's the thing. Like, there are barely any good acoustic tones in Rocksmith.
Yeah, I can agree on that.
I found a few official ones that worked pretty well, but it depends on the song. So
Like
it's
Never Too Late by 3 Days Grace is a good. It has a decent acoustic tone to it. But yeah, it's hard to find a good acoustic tone. Like Simple Man, ugh.
That is the fun thing of like all of us, most of us being like CDLC creators and working within the communities. Like we can be like, hey, I can't find this fuzzy tone. Does anyone have like a suggestion of something? Because I could either beat my head over it for like a week or 2 weeks trying to figure out what sounds right, or someone just might be able to give me a little help, and we all help each other. So it really keeps the community going.
Yep, I can agree on that. The CDLC charts are an amazing thing because, you know,
It's a lot of puzzle.
It's a fun puzzle for the charters, but on top of that, there's a lot of really good songs that are not on Steam. So
it's not just that. If you think about it, if you add up every official DLC, it's not cheap. So I think the amount of CDLC out there adds so much more accessibility to the game.
Yes.
Yeah,
I will check. I'll check my log. I own all DLC. Only gotten at the highest discounted price, but I own.
Oh yeah, of course.
I think non-discounted. I think it's like $6,000 for all the DLC.
Oh,
I think at most I'm sitting at about $2,000, and that's over like 6 years or.
But still, that's for one game.
Right. Which I'm kind of hoping that they do if they come out with the Rocksmith 2, that they allow an importer tool for that as well, like they do with Rocksmith 1 and Rocksmith 2014.
In 2014 is like
Sure
2,
do.
right?
Sure do.
But obviously, saying that, most people aren't going to download every single one. They're just going to download the songs they like. But still, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And there was some country DLC, and I'm not too big into country, but like it was like the last pack that I didn't own, so I'm like, okay, yeah. Done.
I would have done it
You know?
if there's actual electric banjos. So I actually might, but I would need an electric banjo.
The upgrade they did for 2014 when they made the remastered version, they added microphone as an option standalone. So if you have an acoustic guitar or even a banjo, or even technically anything that produces a tone, you could kind of fiddle with it and get it to
True.
pick up correctly, and you could play that.
That
pretend
is
it's
true.
guitar,
I
you
mean,
know?
the dude
Just
literally
imagine.
played screaming into a ukulele. Like,
I mean,
it's-
okay, just listen to this. A banjo with like a doom eternal tone over that.
okay, that would be kind of cool.
Fiddlesmith 2021.
No. Triangle Smith. We talked about this.
Dude, electric
No,
triangle or bust.
Fiddle.
Listen, I used to play percussion. Well, no, I do still play percussion for various bands and orchestras, and
That's Sam, I will.
the triangle is the hardest instrument to play because it's so shrill and it's so high pitched that if you play it in the wrong at the wrong place, everybody notices that you've played it at the wrong place.
No. We just need a cowbell in Rocksmith.
Yeah, need more cowbell.
We do we do have, oh my god, I'm forgetting the band name. It's right on. It's in the game. The cowbell song, "Don't Fear the Reaper" by
Yep.
Blue Oyster Cult. There you go. Good, I didn't forget it. But yeah, so that song is in the game, so there is one to enjoy with cowbell.
Yeah, it's the same thing with cowbell as with triangle because it's so shrill. Everybody notices it. If you play it in the wrong place, everybody in the audience notices that you've played the cowbell in the wrong place.
There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure. And if you fuck it up, it's yeah. Bad.
Yeah, oh, Evil Scarecrow Fest. Crabulon?
Now, if you actually seen some of the interviews from Bloodstock Festival, you would not get the joke. But I'm dead sure that Bloodstock Fest will actually get that one. They've been.
Pretty much already.
All right, Red. So, question for you then, if you're throwing out Evil Scarecrow. 24-hour Crabulon stream. When?
April 1st, 2022.
Okay, I'll
write
be
it
there.
down.
I will be there the whole damn time. I will take that day off.
Fantastic.
Calendar.
mate.
Like, I would pay to see somebody sit there and play Crabulon for 24 hours straight.
Tickets will be 69
I'm
cents.
worried about your wrist. That amount of time. Fuck.
I don't worry about the rest at all because, well,
Bass?
no, but I play fingerstyle
You,
regardless.
you, you could not say that you can't worry about your wrist when playing with bass. There's a few, for example, Firefly by
Oh,
Rammstein.
yep.
That is horrific on the wrist.
The left one, yes, but not the right one.
See, the longest I've ever played Rocksmith for in one stint is 17 hours straight during a charity stream.
I'm
How
so
you guys
sorry.
do it. I think four is about my maximum, and I am dead unless I start playing like some pop songs that don't have too many chords.
That was 4 months into me starting learning.
I think I did 10 or 12 hours accidentally once, but that was only because there was booze involved, and that's the only way I can see it happening.
It wasn't really that bad. Like, sure, my wrist cramped up, but then I'd take a break for a little bit, play something else for 5 minutes, and then I'd get back to just jamming. It was fun. And surprisingly, Through the Fire and the Flames only got requested one time.
So that's something that's also in Rocksmith is you have the ability to make playlists. So if you have a favorite band and you get all the official and custom stuff, you can just make your playlist of I want to just play this band all day. And we're even seeing now with creators making full albums of customs, and that's something that I want to work on. I'm the king of like 20 million DLCs that aren't uploaded because they're not perfect yet. So,
Great example being the Great War album by Sabaton.
But getting full album customs is amazing now. It's another new thing that has kind of really gotten into the community of like, I just want to play this band all day. And we've seen it with Shredfest where we go, it's an hour of this band. Pick your favorite bands. Let's have everyone. You can show the best songs or your favorite songs or the sleeper hits. of those bands, and we get to show it all through Shredfest.
It would be cool to like mesh up between albums and stuff like that, just to make it a full-on like set list.
Speaking of like super long custom DLCs, there is a custom for Brothers of Metal where you can literally play both of their albums.
Yeah.
So if you want to play every single Brothers of Metal song back to back, you can totally do it.
Mixy.
I have seen that. I have
that.
seen that, and I have been incredibly tempted.
I am
Yeah.
beyond
Yeah.
tempted.
Mixy did a complete playthrough of that a couple of days ago. It was amazing to watch.
I'm picking it up right now.
Every single song they have is a complete banger as well. And it tells... I'm not going to rant about Brothers of Metal because we'll be here all night.
But again, that's the other thing. I had no idea about any of this. And you're like, hey, what about this thing? I'm like, oh, all right, I got to get it immediately.
Yeah, I'm going to download that right now.
I think it is 1 hour and 56 in total.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's all on one album?
uh,
Or all on one DLC?
Yeah, there's just a wealth of songs, official and custom, that you will find what you're looking for. And if there isn't one, you can kind of suggest to the community. Anyone interested in like making this? I found a Guitar Pro of it. Someone did a Guitar Pro. Can you use that? Yeah, we can use that and make a song out of it. And there you go.
Okay, so just so I make sure I got this right, it's the Brothers of Metal saga, right?
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, Endless Saga. Yeah.
The thing is that I'm probably one of the people who really, I mean, I'm extremely into kind of folk metal. That's like my absolute favorite genre, because it kind of combines metal with a lot of different folk music from a lot of different places. Like Irish folk metal will have an insane amount of difference between from like Finnish folk metal, which is very popular, or even like Taiwanese folk metal, like Tonic, which is
amazing.
or Mongolian folk metal, Tenger Cavalry, which is one of my favorites, or the more popular now, The Who, which I saw back in 2019, which was just one of the most amazing bands I've ever seen, because those guys are just made for music.
I want one of those horsehead fiddles. That is what I want.
Or Whispered, which is also one of my most favorite bands, which is a Finnish folk metal band who play with Japanese traditional instruments.
Oh, nice.
They just pull so much of those kind of traditional folk things into the metals things and get so unique sounds. I'm still waiting for a few more African folk metal bands or South American ones, like the traditional indigenous South American music, because I really want to see that, because they have some unique tones that Western music doesn't have, and I want that.
Speaking of indigenous, you've heard of Alien Weaponry, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just made for metal. It's so good.
Maori band.
So, Reg, you brought up The Who. You know what song I would love to see charted? Wolf Totem.
Wolf Totem, I actually... Possibly I'm working on that one.
Oh, really? When you have it done, send it my way.
But it's only for bass, though.
Damn it! Why you gotta do this to me, man?
Because it is just, well, that kind of music is for mostly made for bass. I saw them in, like, I think it was November of 2019. It was an amazing show. They have like one album and a few singles, but they filled an hour with just amazing musicianship. There were like 9 musicians up on that stage. Fantastic.
Well, Hikiko, you know what you must do.
I will have that is something I've seen with a lot of charts that I do like and want, but then they're bass only. And I could emulate bass and play it, but I'm like, I want the lead line. Like there's some amazing jazz bass on Customs Forge, but there is some guitar under there. So I have been kind of looking at some of those about putting guitar lines on top.
I mean, I just gave up and got a bass because of the amount of songs that I liked that only had bass charts.
Yeah.
I've still only released 2 songs with bass only. and that's Das ist mein Pirate Ship, which is one of the kind of meme songs from Romohoi, which is like a
Yes.
pirate metal kind of style band. If you wonder what they sound like, Romohoi, the vocalist, kind of guest vocals on Tortuga. The rap bit there is the vocalist Captain Yarface.
Captain Yarface, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of pirate metal?
I love
I-
pirate metal because Ailstorm is god tier.
There needs to be more pirate metal out there.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
working on it. I've charted one song from Paddy and the Rats
nice.
already, and I'm working on a second one already.
So-
and that's a Hungarian metal band, folk like rock metal band that does a lot of the like pirate sea shanty stuff. So I've done
That's
2
cool.
songs from them, bass only.
Have you heard of the Dread Crew of Oddwood?
Yes, I do. I have that.
That is a buddy's band, and I want to get all of his guitar pros, so I will be hitting him up because they do not have any songs on Custom Forge at the moment, and I will. Put them
That's
up.
actually a good point to bring up. That if there are bands that are coming up or semi-established, you could probably hit them up on like Facebook or Twitter and ask, "Do you actually have tabs for your songs?" And they might actually oblige.
Mm-hmm.
There's
They
a
might-
lot of bands out there because that is the new thing with recording from
Mhm.
home and recording elsewhere. People are more knowledgeable about Guitar Pro and other tablature software that they might actually write their songs in tablature first before actually going to the studio and playing. And
So everyone can review it and see if it's nice and playable and everyone enjoys it. A band that I wish did it is a band that I know the members from. It's they're from Norway, I think.
Which one?
Mile.
I actually don't know them.
A fairly new band. Not fairly, they've been around for a while, but I got to meet them a couple of years ago when I went to see the band Corroded with a couple of friends of mine. And they were like the pre-show, and there was this one song that they played, it was Lost. The song is called Lost. I was in Denmark back in 2014 when they first released that EP/first album. And that was for some reason in my Discover Weekly. They were surprised that I could sing along with the lyrics. Strike up a conversation. I'm friends with the guitarists from the band. Also, they're both guitarists are solar guitarists now. They're fucking amazing. Check them out if you haven't. But they don't have tabs, sadly. I asked them before, and they said we don't.
But that is one of the
Maybe.
things where these
Say,
up-and-coming
I'm so
bands-
sorry, you know people. Away.
Yeah. With up and coming bands, it's not just like the big bands like, your Led Zeppelins or Rolling Stones or anything on Rocksmith. It's you can get the local band onto Rocksmith by making customs. It
That's
doesn't
good
have to
promo
be-
as well.
doesn't have to be like a giant multi-label band or something. And again, it can be local people. And now you have the reach across the world where like if I have a local band near me, I can put their song up and make a custom for it. And then I can go to the streamers on Rocksmith and I can request that song and they can play it. And if they enjoy it, now we got more people enjoying the song.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I can't
Exactly.
even tell you how
Good
many people I've pointed or how many people I've pointed onto songs and bands and stuff like that. Like Sentence, for example. Finnish metal band who has unfortunately has not written any music in 20 years because they kind of split up, and their guitarist is no longer with us, unfortunately. Passed away due to a heart condition.
Well, Finland has the most number of metal bands per capita in the world. Like they
Mhm. And Sentenced is one of the best Finnish metal bands I have ever had the pleasure of listening to and playing.
Well, on the question of Finnish metal bands, I'm just joking, but like, which one of you have applied for Shredfest 5 and which band did you choose?
I applied for 5. I don't think we've released Who's Made It yet, right?
I haven't
No.
No,
seen
no,
that.
we
no.
haven't. But I'm just curious what you applied for and with.
Applied, of course, guitar, but it was Chevelle because there's a lot of tabs that just need some reworking, which I could
Hmm.
quickly do. And it's a great band, but most of the tabs are really old. And so bringing those back to the newer kind of version of the toolkit can strengthen those customs. Um, and then there was, oh God, now I'm blanking. Oh, I was gonna do Guns N' Roses as a simple one, but I was just gonna do straight all Appetite of Destruction first album plus the Shadow of Your Love, which was the unreleased song from it. Because it's like there's a great song list all through all those. That'll be about 45 minutes, 50 minutes. There you go. So it's a toss up. We'll see if I make it in. You know.
All right, so I've gone for Brothers Mel because
They're
every,
amazing.
no, it was so. I've already made like a rough idea of what I want to play. I was sitting there, and it was still like an hour and 40 minutes, and I was like, I can't get rid of any of these. These are all great. These are all my children. How am I supposed to bring this down to an hour? I finally managed it. Unleash the Archers and Powerwolf.
Nice.
That's a fantastic set of bands.
Choices.
When it comes to like picking songs, I when you struggle with actually not like narrowing it down to an hour, one of the things I would like to work on, at least personally, is to kind of start with a banger, of course, always fantastic, but then try to find a natural flow between songs.
Well, oh, sorry, continue.
Yeah, and that's kind of a at least for me is an easier way to deal with it because like first Shredfest I did the Elstorm. I want to play every single Elstorm song that is except for two because I don't like them, and that's like 4 hours. So how do you do that? Okay, trying to find what flows into the next one, what kind of gives a nice build up. Maybe at the half-hour mark you give a kind of a false uh, peak, and then you go a bit down, and then you end on a banger. And it helped me a bit in choosing songs when I thought more about flow instead of actual songs.
Right.
Well, I think it can also be about like telling a story because that's what I've done more this time round. Going through the whole playlist, it goes through the entire prophecy of Ragnarok to the best of my ability. So I've just kind of taken out the individual ones like Theft of the Hammer, Tyr, just ones about individual gods. So the whole playlist is just starting off at Endless Saga, which is literally, the beginning of everything, and then it goes through everything until you get to Prophecy of Ragnarok.
That is an amazing view on it, though. I love that approach. I haven't actually
Same.
thought of that, and I will absolutely get inspired by that idea. Is what we call it in the professional way. Technically, I'm just stealing it, but yeah, just
I kind of stole it from Slip there, not gonna lie, because I saw your set list for the last Shredfest, and I saw
Yeah.
the like little bits of lore you were doing in between, and like the literal storytelling you were doing. I was like, that's really cool.
awesome. But yeah, that's an amazing way of approaching it. And I haven't thought about that at all because I was just thinking about individual songs and how they flow. But the story in the songs, especially for Brothers Metal, which is basically Norse mythology,
Exactly.
no joke. We had that in like primary school and secondary school. We had that as curriculum. So
I mean, they're great stories.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, exactly.
I wish I was born in Norway now.
Yeah, same. I chose E-Rock because the dude's got a smile that can light up the entire fucking world. He's awesome. And plus I went with 3 Days Grace for my last fest, which was back in September. So it's been a while since I've been in a fest, but this time I didn't want to play anything too shreddy because I didn't want to make myself look like a complete jackass. Now I want to show off some of the stuff that I actually am practicing and trying to actually shred with. But then I chose Parkway Drive on top of it because
Mm.
I adore Parkway. Like, so much.
Choices.
That's one of the bands that really grew on me
Mm-hmm.
lately.
When
And
you did your Shredfest, did you order the songs in any specific way? Did you have a map of what you wanted?
yeah, actually I had a whole like notepad set up. So I started off with like Riot by 3 Days Grace. And then towards the end, I went with a slow banger, Never Too Late, because it was my best song. I played that song over 300 times, so I know it in and out basically. And I decided to play it in master mode because why not? But yeah, I basically ordered everything in terms of how I have grown as a guitarist and as a person in general, because 3 Days Grace's music has helped me out with a lot of stuff in my life. Like Never Too Late. The High Road got me through most of it though, because that song is amazing. As simple as it is, it's an amazing song. But plus 3 Days Grace isn't the same without Adam Gontier anymore, but you know, people leave. I'm still sad about it and salty about it, as you can tell. But yeah, and then my
Really?
last band. Oh yeah, just a little bit. And then my last band is Serenity and Murder, Japanese death metal band
Oh, cool.
with a female vocalist, and that woman can growl. I love me a queen that can growl. So good.
Nice.
I maybe subconsciously tried to find a theme. I didn't realize that people were trying to find themes when they were making their set list. But like I have notes upon notes of Symphony X, where I was trying to find first. The idea was no one had ever heard of Symphony X. That's the mindset I was in. So what is like their classics and what are the sleepers that show them in a different sound? And I played of the songs I chose. Every song had lyrics because I wanted people to be able to sing along or at least know what's going on because it's a little high pitched vocals, so you're not exactly sure the words that are being said sometimes.
Right.
Um, but all of that, and also I had to make sure I was able to play the solo because some I just did not have enough time to practice the solo for, so I cut those. Um, and I got again suggestions when we were about to go, like a couple days before. I was like, "Yeah, it's 55 minutes too long. Yeah, cut it down to 45. Yeah, you're gonna take some extra time," and it ended up being perfect. But yeah, I went from their first album to their last album in the order of songs that I did of the songs I chose to show how the tone of the band changed over the years because they went from neoclassical like Yngwie Malmsteen, very neoclassical, to more of Dream Theater-ish, more Dream Theater like, and then they kind of got into a more heavier metal kind of pitch harmonic fun stuff. Um, and so that was really interesting to see the sound evolve. Also, the recording process because it was recorded in like his basement studio in the '90s, and then they went to like professional studios later. And then same thing with Black Keys, more notes. Where again, I wanted lyrics in the. If they didn't have lyrics, I would go in and add lyrics myself. This one I didn't do chronological. I just did more of tone. So like about halfway through, you get to the slow songs that are more groovy, the kind of sensual songs, and then you take it back to a nice rock ending.
I mean,
And
that's
really,
telling an emotional story there.
yeah. So I don't know if I did that on purpose or if that was just kind of what felt best. Then you kind of figured out like, oh, I don't want to play this song and then that song. Let's flip it up.
So I can tell you how to come up with a set list for Symphony X. All right, you ready? So you start out with Evolution, right? Then you go to Rediscovery, because 12-minute song right there in and of itself. And then you play something like Nevermore. And to finish it off, you play the Odyssey.
Well, yeah, the Odyssey again is 23, 25. I think it's
24 and a half minutes.
I thought Shogun was long.
Yeah, let me look at Odyssey again.
It's 24 minutes and 17 seconds.
Yes.
Was
Yeah.
I must say when I was putting in my suggestion, or at least my requested bands for this Shredfest, I was fully tempted to put in Dream Theater, so I
That's
could play
ballsy.
so I could play Disappear, which was which is about 6.5 minutes, then immediately transfer into 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence, which is 42 minutes. It's like fantastic, 2 songs, amazing. That's all I need to learn for this Shredfest. 2
Absolutely.
songs.
Interesting.
Like, I think my longest song for my Shredfest set list is 7 minutes long, and that's Silent Hill meets metal.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
But-
at least for
Yeah.
my first chosen band, I think it's 7 minutes 5 seconds is the longest song.
Yeah, the rest of
Yeah.
them are like 4 or 5 minutes long, if that. Longer than most of the 3 Days Grace songs, that's for sure.
to be honest, video game medleys are like the god tier of Rocksmith charts.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want so many. I would love
See so many.
Has anyone played Resident Evil Code Veronica?
I have.
Yeah.
The soundtrack of that. There's a video on YouTube of someone who did a metal medley for that.
Was it Family
Oh my
Jewels?
God, it's so good. It's
I
so
don't-
good.
I don't
That'd be amazing.
think Might be Artificial Fear or someone else. I don't think it's Jules that did it.
I think you might be right that it's Artificial Fear. But,
I would say even with being able to get any kind of bands onto custom Rocksmith stuff, you can get any kind of genre, you know. So you're starting to see video game music, or even we're seeing like J-rock and anime stuff. We're seeing, like you were saying, folk stuff, folk metal, and especially folk metal that is regional. You know, so
Oh yeah.
it's open to everything.
yeah, like I said, I'm still trying to get a chart made for Family Jewels chart. But it might take a while for me to get that, and I need
there's
it.
that one on the page is
Also, I do like what Bloodstock Fest wants to do. The Rocksmith in a gaming arena would be fucking awesome.
just do take in consideration that COVID's still a thing at the moment. So
Yeah.
I
but I'm
recommend
pretty
having
sure
people.
that once that will be a
Um,
thing, we would all be.
If I could make it over to Europe for it, I would be there. Like,
I
no
remember,
questions asked.
Yeah, I remember a lot of not a lot, but I remember a few of the like hot show streamer back in 2019 did like a collab at TwitchCon 2019. I think it was with, like Magic Lunchbox, a Lady T, and like a lot of or Osbog or something like that did like a collab at TwitchCon. Which, of course, again, if TwitchCon EU gets to a place, Gaming Metalhead, we're doing something. Same
Yeah.
with you, Schleipner. We're doing something
Yeah.
at a
Yeah.
TwitchCon.
Yeah,
whenever
Hikikomori.
that happens.
Oh yeah, Amsterdam,
I-
isn't it? That's not far.
If TwitchCon
Well,
happens again in San Diego, we're meeting up. I'll bring one of my guitars with
Yeah,
me.
Yeah.
I'm
I
only
think it
an
was
hour and a half drive, so
Yeah, I think it was in Amsterdam last time, and
Yeah.
the one that was supposed to go in 2020 was Berlin, but it never
Ah.
happened.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think the next one might be Amsterdam Redemption because that was the one. Well, it was going to be Amsterdam, but it got cancelled due to COVID. So I think the next one would be Amsterdam.
yeah. I
Oh,
think the next one in the States is going to be next year in San Diego, which San Diego is absolutely beautiful, by the way. And
Not for a ginger.
what?
Not for a ginger. No,
Okay, just because you
We
would
can
burst
get your
into
parasol, fine.
flames.
I would burst into flames if I get anywhere close to California.
Oh,
Maybe one of those little Victorian parasols.
see,
Like Schleipner knows what I'm talking about, but because he's Scottish, like he's probably equally exposed to sun as I am.
dude,
This is true.
I
This is true.
I
Well-
spend 7 months of the year literally freezing to death. I get it.
Yeah, no. I live in Munich now, and this is the furthest south that I've ever lived.
Oh
And
god, I'm
tomorrow,
sorry.
And tomorrow it's going to be 27 degrees, and it's like, how do I live with this? I don't understand how can
So,
live with
okay,
27 degrees.
Here's the thing though.
This is
So
lovely.
San Diego, weirdly enough, being right on the ocean, it's not hot in the humid sense. As weird as that sounds, it's a desert heat. It is dry. So it's not horrible. If it was humid, that would suck.
not debilitating heat. It's just hot, but you're like, yeah, I can walk around and
I was walking
It's not
around
like
in a
tropical
trench
heat
coat.
like Singapore have.
See, I was
Yeah.
walking around in a trench coat at San Diego TwitchCon because I was cosplaying as Roxas from Kingdom Hearts. So I was walking around in a trench coat, gloves, whole 9 yards, all black, and I was pretty comfortable.
I could not imagine doing that in British humid heat. It's
Yeah.
worse than you think.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, down in Florida, I've been to Florida a couple times, and with all the swamps and stuff like that, whoo! She gets humid down there. But I also live in a state where it gets anywhere between 120 degrees Fahrenheit and negative 70 degrees Fahrenheit. There is a cat on Red's lap.
Yeah, that's my kitten Boulder.
Aww.
That's it. I'm getting my cat.
Everybody's
would-
getting their cats now.
I would, but everyone's asleep over here. So
Sleep is for the weak.
He's close to getting a year old next year, month.
But yeah, no, I highly recommend not living in a place where the wind literally hurts your face.
You can barely see her.
yeah, but the fact that she still is in your arms is amazing.
That is wholesome.
She was
Yeah.
raised in lockdown, so she's like super attached to us. Bless her.
Oh,
Cat Smith 2020.
that's the look of a cat. That's like, the hell are you doing, human?
So speaking of animals, how about that Ailstorm for dogs?
Just picking up a bit what Bloodstock Fest and Robert Davis has been talking about in the chat is like having like a Rocksmith thing. I mean, having a Rocksmith thing at Bloodstock. I don't know if anyone here has been at Bloodstock ever, but it
No.
is an amazing festival. Like
I want to go. It's in UK, right? UK based festival.
It
It's,
is north
Near
of
Download, it's the Donington area, isn't it?
it is north of Birmingham. Yes.
Oh,
No, I want to go to it because
I-
Symphony X always plays it. That's the only
I
Yeah.
kind of want to go because I've never been to the UK. I've never been to Europe, and I would love to go to Europe. But on top of that, attending
show,
a music festival where I could potentially meet some of my European rocksmith colleagues, that would be awesome.
If you're coming to this country though for a festival, I recommend getting a boat.
get a boat.
A boat.
It does at UK festivals. It rains a lot, apart from when it doesn't. But most time, yeah, get a boat.
Scarlett, no joke. Like I was in the UK for like 5 days in 2013. We didn't have any rain.
No, when it's sunny, it's actually really nice. Like we always make jokes about the rain, and people make jokes at us. But when it's sunny, it's actually really nice.
Yeah, and I was like
Drowned.
last week I was in Bergen, which is on the west coast, for 4 days, and that also is a city that is joked about raining all the time because there's like 7 mountains around the city, which means that all the rain just get trapped and poured down on the city. I had like 10 minutes of rain in like 4 days. Nothing.
I think that's a strategy for like UK festivals or even maybe just European festivals, but definitely UK festivals. You get a tent, but then get like a little platform and like some stakes and put a raised platform to put your tent on.
Oh,
So
definitely.
All
Yes.
the rain and everything will just go around and go underneath. And you're not,
See,
Yeah, in 2013, I brought a teepee kind of tent, like what we in the Scandinavia call lavo, which is like Sami kind of same kind of triangle shaped tent, and that worked fantastically.
So, I live in a city where, so Minnesota, we're like the most bipolar state in the entire continental USA. Like I said, we can see 200-degree change in temperature over the span of a year. But, so my town is notorious for having storms that'll build up, badass tornado weather storms coming in. Then they will break up as soon as they get to our city, completely go around and reform on the other side.
Flinchy, do you live north or south of St. Paul?
I live an hour north of St. Paul.
Okay, so not that north to be fair. Like it's about 45 degrees north or something like that.
Yeah, I live about an hour north of Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Yeah.
And
Neat.
like I'm at I'm almost at the halfway point between Minneapolis and St. Paul to Duluth,
Hmm.
which
Yeah,
is
like-
right up on Lake Superior.
I don't know how the distances work in America, but like 300 miles in Norway takes about 7.5 hours to drive.
Seriously?
Yeah, because I have to cross a mountain passage to get there.
Okay,
Oh.
that's
Very
fair.
rocky, isn't it? I
See,
think rocky may be an understatement.
For me,
I think the top plane I went during one the drive I had was about 1,300 meters above sea level, which is about short of a mile.
oh, Molly, you live 60 miles away from Duluth? Nice. Yeah, I live in a city called St. Cloud, and let me tell you, if I could bail out of this state at any chance, I would. No questions asked.
Nice.
I
And
live
then
very
yeah,
close
the-
to London, so I can't complain. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not right in the middle of the city, but I'm like an hour away, so it's quite good for gigs and stuff. And it's not super loud, so that's good.
Nice.
then the gaming metalhead, which is live under the sea level.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we have our dikes, Dyken, the Dyken stuff, but just as soon as it's kind of fucked to think that if the sea level keeps rising, there's a chance that we need to think of a way to keep the Netherlands afloat. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Isn't like the lowest peak like -6 meters or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Venice is having a similar sort of problem, isn't it? Like with the floodings and stuff.
Are they sinking?
No, Venice is like flooding a lot,
Yeah.
more and more every year.
Huh. Weird.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's a city built on water, with
Mm.
water running throughout it. So yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, Venice is sinking. Oh,
Huh.
it's gonna become the new Atlantis. Gonna die finding the secret treasures of Venice.
Anybody else remember that episode of Futurama with Atlanta, Georgia being underwater because it's sunk?
Never watched that show.
You should. It's hilarious.
Well, does anyone have anything else to add about Shredfest news or new?
Yeah, I mean, we've been getting off traffic a little bit. Sorry
Yep.
for that, but I think who else applied because Hikori, Flinchy, and Scarlet, you all applied for Shredfest. Sleipnir, did you apply, or Red? Did you
Yes,
apply?
I did.
What did you grab, or what are you trying to get?
Well, at least for my first request, I put an Elven King,
right.
Great
and
choice.
I am pretty sure that I will be. If I get in, I will get it because I'm the only person who has the charts.
Ooh.
So
Do you have Pagan Revolution or
no, I don't know it. If I get it, I'll be playing a lot more earlier stuff.
Okay. So if I asked the Horn Wizard and the King, you gonna play that or no?
No,
Do need a chart for that because it's my favorite song by Elven.
Speaking of events
But-
stuff for the events team people here, when do we want to get started on working on Shredfest Bagay?
Well, that's the plan is about like July or August. Basically, in the dead center of Shredfest 5 and 6 is the ideal time. Like,
Okay,
What we
so are we gonna be working on that, or is the staff gonna be involved too?
I guess the entire staff should be involved in that at least.
Okay, figured I'd ask about that just so that I know where we're at and stuff like that. Because
I mean, the Discord server owner is like one of the most fantastic representative of that community anyway. So
Mhm.
it's like,
because Miss Rocktism is fucking awesome.
Exactly. So that
And that's one of the things for doing video stuff. I'm essentially after you guys have done your events, then I get to do my thing. Yeah,
Right.
there is like if people need like an intro screen or if they have a little intro video they want to play on their thing or something, I can whip that up, you know. But
I
yeah,
think Sam has an interesting question there. And I think Red would be good because I've about the schedule. I know that there's been talk about you working on it, but there's no definitive time when the schedule and everything will be posted, right?
no, I haven't seen anything. As far as I've seen, um, with it's Robert Dave and Mr. Autism and Venom Hammer. If anything, that's been working
Right.
it's being
on the
worked out.
schedule.
Yeah, because I've been asked about it a couple times, and well, I keep telling them that I'm not like actually staff, so
Yeah, the events team doesn't really run or have much to like.
But
We have something to say, but we are not working actively on the schedule. Even though I'm
right,
technically part of staff, I
The
don't
live
really want to be in part of the scheduling because that's a hell.
right,
Working on
yeah,
it just needs to find time where we're all free to sort it out.
Yeah.
Robert Dave in the chat, which
If
is
you
one of Robert Dave is one of the like old OG Rocksmith people, like, and basically the schedule couldn't be in any better hands than his.
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited to see when the list comes out, but I have no answers for anyone who feels like they need to message me about it.
Yeah,
Don't message anyone on this podcast about it
events
because
team is not involved with the schedule. That's main stuff, and it will come out when it's ready.
I like
Yes.
to refer to them as the big three.
yeah,
So as
and
the events team, you'll be doing like live stuff when the event is happening. You'll be helping people,
Yeah.
helping facilitate
Exactly.
all the
Yeah.
stuff they need, making sure people are ready and they've got everything.
Right.
and for
Exactly.
anyone who wonders, the priority list is people who hasn't been on any Shredfest at all, and then the people who weren't on the last one.
Or the one before that, or the one before that.
Yeah, so it's basically we prioritize people who hasn't been on anyone first. At
Right.
least that's how it's been up until now. So
And
we
that's
want
why-
new people to showcase new people of the community. That's the focus of Shredfest.
And that's probably the most fair way as well, because
Yeah.
if it's nice that there's already a lot of people in the community. It's just amazing people.
Yes,
But-
and as Robert Dave says, it's mostly
Yeah.
automated to prioritize new people, fresh people.
Mhm.
to see new faces and get to know more amazing new streamers in the community.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Also, I do want to have a meeting with the events team one of these days, just so that we can go over. I can show people how Tiltify works and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
So I was thinking we could do that like next weekend between podcasts.
Yes.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. I don't think I've had anything planned that week.
Fantastic. Because then
Yeah,
I
it's a
could get
long weekend.
everybody, all the events team members as managers and stuff like that, while I still have ownership and stuff.
Yep.
So that would make life a lot easier in that aspect of things. But and then I do also want to go over some of the charities and stuff like that that are more along the lines of the music front, because I know Swig brought up, since we're a music community, we should do stuff for like the charity A DJ Saved My Life, tons of stuff involving like getting underprivileged children instruments and all that cool stuff. So I would just like to go over that with everybody when we have a time when we can all like get together for that.
All right, sounds
Absolutely.
good.
Sure.
Just to sway back, my planned bands for Shredfest is
Good one.
Korpiklani, Turisas, and I think I just put Powolf in at the end.
Okay, if you don't play Rasputin, I'm rioting.
Yeah, Rasputin is needed.
Korpiklani is the first one, so the most important songs there are Vodka, Tequila, and Rauta.
My point stands. If you get
And-
Teresa's, you have
and
to
of
play
course-
Rasputin.
Of course.
Of course. But for Korpiklani, you have to play Jägermeister as well.
Of course.
surely.
Yeah.
I
Of
was
course.
lucky that Mad Matter actually charted that because,
mean,
as I said on the pre-show,
It's an insane
Um,
bottle of Jaeger.
Jägermeister. I mean, it's a 2.5 minute song, so I'm gonna fit it in regardless. Like,
Hell yeah.
and of course, I have a few songs charted for Korpiklani myself. But yeah, that's just one of those Finnish metal bands that are just so much fun. I mean,
Mhm.
you can act drunk without actually being drunk for an hour, which is amazing.
It's amazing. If you have a chance to see him live, yeah, go for it. Your
I
life
will.
be better after it.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
at least in my application, Elegant is number 1, and then for number 2 I put in Arion, which is also
Oh
an
yeah,
incredible
that's
Good
band.
one. Really good one. Ariane.
yep.
Into the Electric Castle is one of my favorite albums. Just
It's
to
every
listen.
album is a story, and
Yeah.
that story unfolds. I've seen them live. When I didn't know they existed, I saw them live at Grass Pop 2019
Mhm.
or 18. I think it was 18 actually. It was and the Arian Universe tour, and
Yes.
it's an atmospheric metal story adventure that you go through, and it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, Into the Electric Castle is one of my favorite albums. And then what's my oh yeah, my third one. Just because I needed one, I just put in Nightwish. Just because I needed a third band.
Oh Jesus.
I've done Nightwish before.
Yeah. The one challenge.
I also put in Nightwish because I could then play the greatest show on earth, which is like 23 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like fantastic. I don't need to
But-
learn that much.
But 90% of that is nothing. Like you're not playing like half of it.
I've always
mean,
said Nightwish are great for beer breaks. That's why they have those like 2-3 minute long breaks. It's just so they can just go off stage and
Yeah, I went on their tour for I went to see them in Copenhagen. I was still living in Sweden at that point, so it should have been 2018. So that might have been the tour for decades. And they played their set and then they finished and they went off and they came back for the encore. Then for the encore they played the greatest show on earth. It's like that's 23 minutes. What is this as an encore? What?
That's amazing, though.
Makes
There's not much bands
sense.
that can do that with a banger of a long track as an
Mhm.
encore.
See, in
Yeah, but-
previous fests, I've always tried to get like Sabaton or Skillet even, because I do enjoy playing Skillet songs, because 90% of them are good.
That is interesting with the choices that people make for like their top 3 choices for
Mhm.
Shredfest. People try to at least spice it up so that it's not the same. Like I'm sure Muse has been played. I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure there's an AC/DC. I'm sure there's like you could name like top 40 bands of all time. I'm sure they've been played through Shredfest, but people will also go, oh, okay, well, what's a band that hasn't been played?
Mm-hmm.
Because I wanna showcase something that maybe people don't know about. And surprisingly enough, there's bands that aren't the top 40, but then have a lot of customs made for them, and you're like, great, this is a perfect
Because
opportunity.
they have great followings.
Okay, so here's a question: what are some underrated bands that you guys would like to see in Fest?
Metzotal.
I have. Well,
That's a great one.
I'm gonna spill the beans. I have right now almost done 2 full albums by Veruca Salt. 2 of their songs are official DLCs from their first album and from their second album. So you have Seether from their first album and Volcano Girls from their second album. So I can't do a full album of each of those, obviously, but I can do all the other songs um, as something to put as a custom. So that is something that I'm like, well, people saw the 2 hit songs, but honestly, Number One Blind, Get Back is great. Straight is great. There's a bunch of the David Bowie song is great. Spider Man '79. There's a bunch of like nice little '90s alternative that is something that I think there's not too much '90s alternative on Customs Forge. So that's
Absolutely.
something. All right, there you go.
Fair enough. But yeah, Metzatol is one of those bands. I've charted 3 out of 4 songs there. I want more of them on there. Tengir Cavalry. I've charted the only song that they have on there by that band. It's Mongolian folk metal, and surprisingly, that throat singing works amazingly with metal. Like
Uh,
it's just an amazing addition to metal. The Who is an example of a good chance there. I think it's like Chthonic or something like that. It's the Greek name, but it's a Taiwanese folk metal band that has an amazing sound. Whispered has like 2 songs on there, but it's like 7 string or 5 string. It's nothing standardized in that sense, and I would love to see those bands appear on the Shredfest. Fintroll, I don't think has appeared at all, but they're
Yeah.
fairly popular. Lumsk, absolutely. Skullmöld, which is an Icelandic folk
What?
metal band.
So amazing, man.
You might get the fact that I actually like folk metal. Seriously
yeah.
enough.
You do?
I couldn't
Yeah,
tell, Red.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
exactly. So there is a lot of those kind of bands that has a lot of appeal, but doesn't really have a lot of charts. And the few people who does them is like me and Tanashu and Jurovic. I think is the 3 main people who does that kind of bands.
So while we're talking of underrated bands, it's weird. This band I don't think are underrated because they did very, very well. Like I think in this moment don't have a lot of charts, and I think if there was more of them, you could do some really good stuff with them because their live shows are so theatrical. Like if you emulate a little bit of that, there could be some really awesome stuff done within
Oh
this
yeah.
month.
I would like to
Mhm.
point out that their guitar work is amazing. Also, in this
There's not a
moment,
lot of
that's-
tabs is the main problem.
right.
Oh, another great band that I saw actually in Bloodstock, High Bloodstock Fest, in 2013 was the band Hell, which has Andy Sneap on guitar, and Andy Sneap has currently been touring with Judas Priest because he was also the producer, but he was also covering for Glenn Tipton, which is an amazing fucking band. They have 2 albums out and no customs, and they have like 1 tab, so I need to get into to buy some tabs for that band.
I just immediately thought of Botch. I very much am into '90s metalcore and the kind of noisecore, mathcore stuff. Botch only has 1 tab up, 1 custom. I pretty much could figure out all the songs and do them, but I have to get done with everything else on my plate. Dillinger Escape Plan has about 5 customs up. I have most of Calculating Infinity, the album, tabbed myself because I couldn't find good enough tabs. Um, so that is someday. Someday we'll get a full Dillinger album, and then All Else Failed is a little known Philly hardcore band. They had 2 music videos on MTV at the time, but just disappeared, and they came back, had a reunion, and they've been playing for a while now. But it's all just simple drop D riffs, just having fun, making noise. And so that's something where I'm like, we need more of that kind of era
Mhm.
stuff. So I'd love to eventually get those up.
One band that I really want to see more of on Shredfest is Lordy. It's
All right.
a rhythm player's heaven.
But I can top that.
Okay, hit me.
And I've been holding this thing up for a while, but I'm gonna raise it again. Awesome.
Yes! Yes!
Because
You just want to yell, "No!"
I just want to yell like Arnold all the time during the stream. I just want to go like this. I can't stop. We have to get to the chopper. And the thing is, this band is amazing. It's the baby of everyone knows As I Like Crying. I mean, As I Like Dying. It's some people hate the band because of the singer did some things that we all know and agree that's not good. But the fact that they made 3 insanely amazing albums, which all started with an idea like, yo, what if we just took a line from an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie and made a song about that?
I think I might
Boom.
have something along the same vein. So there is loosely related. There's a couple of big UK metal bands that were the Safety Fire, who became Good Tiger, who are related to Periphery because Nolly, the bassist, went through all them and was their producer. They had, for a short time, a side project that released 2 EPs called Cage Grind Noir, and it was all songs from Nicolas Cage movies, and
Oh
it
my
was
god.
all using little sound bites from each movie, and it was all like hardcore, post-core, noisecore, mathcore, whatever, that kind of stuff, all through Nicolas Cage movies.
That is fantastic.
That is
Cage,
awesome.
Wait, who is
Grind,
that? I need to check
Brilliant.
that out.
yeah, it's Cage Grind Noir.
What
And
am
The
it's on
thing that
Bandcamp.
makes ADM Austrian Death Machine top tier is they literally have impressionists, people pretending to be Arnold.
nice?
They don't use clips from they use one clip from a movie, but it's not even Arnold. Every bit of Arnold is a different voice imitator,
Nice.
and that's what makes it original, and that's what makes it amazing.
I
So if I were to do this band justice by doing for Shredfest, I have to make my own Arnold imitation clips, because
Mhm.
otherwise it would
Fantastic.
not be just. Another band that I would like to see more from is Psycho Stick,
Yep.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So
because I love.
back to the Nicolas Cage thing. One of my favorite line or quotes ever is from a Nicolas Cage movie, from Con Air to be specific.
Bunny back in the box.
Nope, it's when Steve Buscemi is talking to Nick Cage while everybody's dancing to Sweet Home Alabama, and he says to Nick Cage, "Define irony. A bunch of idiots dancing around on a plane to a band that died in a plane crash."
Yeah.
It's amazing.
But
Uh,
what one band I can't wait to see. We can't do it for Shedfest 5 because the album won't be out, but probably for Shedfest 6 is Wizard Throne.
Oh,
Yup.
And
interesting.
if you don't know Wizard Throne, it is Ether Realm does the vocals and bass. The guy the guy who does guitar from Gloryhammer does guitar.
Nice.
They have Forlorn Citadel on the other guitar. Then they have Chris Bose of Ailstorm on the keyboard and synth, and then they have the drummer from Necrogoblicon and Veil of
oh,
Fnath on drums.
You know what
Oh.
band
He-
I want to see more of in terms of just charts in general being made or tabs, even if people, tab it out by year and stuff like that? Twilight Force.
Oh yeah,
uh,
I got a lot into them after the last Shredfest because
Deal.
they were featured there, and I can't thank them enough for doing that.
Yeah, like I would love to see Twilight Force get a little bit more representation in the Rocksmith world. There's some charts for them, but there's really not much.
I mean, I imagine they'd be quite popular once they have some stuff because that's like, I don't want to say like there is such a thing as rocksmith power metal, but there's definitely like a certain type of power metal that we all tend to gravitate towards more. Like
Yes.
you've got Sabaton. What's that? What's the Wasabi band?
Victorious. You're
Victoria,
talking Wasabi War
Glory
Machine,
Hammer.
right?
Yeah,
That song is so much fun to play. Yeah, we got Glory Hammer, Powerwolf,
newer
Sabaton.
newer corn charts,
Mm-hmm.
better corn charts,
Yeah.
because corn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Orton Organ was really popular for a while, but I think they're kind of semi-forgotten, even though there are a lot of charts for them.
Yeah,
One of my
Uh,
favorite songs by them is Gunman. That is my
Oh, yeah.
favorite song to play by them.
it's good. I don't know if this song is charted, but Things We Believe In.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
That's-
Vampire on the Ghost Town. But like that was really popular, like late 2018, early 2019.
Yeah.
That was played non-stop at like the Roth back then, at least. Like
Hida, you'll be happy to know that is a charted song.
It is.
Yep,
Nice.
I just looked it up. It is in there.
I did
That
not
is-
know that.
That is the interesting thing. So much gets released. We're actually getting a big community to release a lot of songs that everyone's working on their own time that you will just look up and be like, oh, I didn't know that someone finally did this song, you know?
But yes,
again-
with Twilight Force, when I did that last Shredfest, when I was choosing the songs, well, no, I couldn't choose the songs. There was enough songs for 1 hour, and there was no more songs. The important thing when I did that is that it's like what you were saying before. I had to create a story throughout the set, if you like. That at least was the most important thing when I played them last Shredfest.
I do have a question for some of the charters here, because I've never charted a song in my life. Every time I try and get my head around it, I want to punch something. I'm not going to lie.
Same.
How long did it take you to learn how to chart?
One day.
half a year.
Thank you, Red.
Unfortunately, again, my 25 years of guitar is not just guitar. I am a classically trained musician, so I've gone through schooling and I know all of it. So it's easy to train.
Way to flex, bruh. I'm kidding.
My biggest issue was that I didn't get how Edit on Fire did the tempo changes. So I tried to chart a song that had a different tempo, and I could never get it right. And I was fucking ripping my hair out, and I still have a lot of it, so it wasn't that much apparently.
That is a project that I'm working on, is making a kind of tutorial guide video for the latest tools out there. You just need to bang your head against the wall a little bit, but once you remember the hotkeys and a little bit of like, this is where I go to click this to change the tempo. The issue really is people will get the first day in and then they'll not come back the second day. And when you try to pick it up a month later, you're back to square one.
Yeah.
So if you
Right.
can just push yourself daily, eventually all that stuff will stick and you'll remember it and it won't be as hard anymore.
Yeah,
The-
I
the
was gonna
tools-
say maybe I'll have to sit down with you one of these days so you can show me how to bang my head against the wall for a day.
Yeah, the
I'm-
tools.
even with my knowledge, I still run into weird problems that happen that I have to figure out a solution for.
Yeah.
But it's not difficult. You don't need special knowledge to chart songs. You can eventually follow guides and follow the instructions and ask people in chat and be like, "Hey, I'm having trouble with this. What do I do?" And someone
Yeah.
might come along and help you.
The
Yeah,
tools are a bit archaic, but they're not awful when you kind of get to love to hate them in that sense. It's
It'll
like,
eventually make sense. Yes.
yes.
Right,
Yeah,
because I would love to get into it.
If I chart anything, what I generally do is that I chart key notes that you need to hit, and then I just kind of let everything else be up to the musician's interpretation,
Okay.
if you like. So at least if I chart anything, it's like, right, this is a note here, I need to hit that. But apart from that, you can kind of play whatever sounds good with the rest of the song, rather.
Well, so a quick, simple way of it is, yes, you can manually put notes into Editor on Fire. You can also write it all in Guitar Pro or in Tux Guitar, which is a free open source version of a
Yep.
tablature program. It will also make Guitar Pro charts. And you can import that into Editor on Fire, which is the program we use to note track, or you can manually put it in.
And Tux Guitar will also convert GPX
Yes.
files to GP5 files. Just
Yes.
so you probably need it anyways.
Yes. And so with that, you can align notes. And when you're playing in Editor on Fire, you can press C for clap or M for metronome. And that will clap along to the beat or to the note. So you can tell if a note's off if the beat's going dut dut and you can hit like a dut 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 and you're like, oh, okay, that's not quite on the line. Let me just take my mouse, click the note, move it over till it's perfect. You can also slow down the song because we're playing metal here, so that's going to be a little hard to keep track with. You can slow it to 50% or 25%, and it'll go slower across, so you can really get that nice sync that right on the note. So that is something too that people don't realize, that they're spending all this time banging their head on the wall trying to get the note to line up and not realizing they can slow down the playback so that they can actually do that. You can also zoom in on the note tracking. So if something is playing at 30-second notes or 64th notes really fast and your mouse just can't really move that small, you can zoom in so that you have a wider gap to move that note over.
Yes. And Mama actually makes a good point that GP7 will export to GP5 from either GP7 or GP6. But if you don't have bought GP7 like I didn't do, I bought GP6 because they supported Linux on GP6, but I refused to buy GP7 because they don't support Linux. So I resorted to Tux Guitar. But if you have Guitar Pro 7, you can export to GP5 files.
So there's just little kind of nuances that once you figure out that it works this way, when you go into your next song or the next, time you're attacking a song again, you have way more knowledge and things are a lot faster for you to pick up.
I mean, to be fair, it sounds like when I was first learning Photoshop years and years ago, like when I first started using it, I was like, what am I doing? Why has this happened to this photo? How do I cut this thing out? How do I do that? And as I learned little tiny individual things, that made going through my workflow faster and faster each time. So it sounds like the same thing.
The majority of options on Editor on Fire, you will almost never touch. It's really very specific things you would ever use something for. Kind of like Photoshop, where you're like, I don't need all these effects. I just need
Yeah.
to know that I'm going to blend this into that and make it a GIF or something. Like that's all you need to do. But it's a great transferable skill, and you get comfortable. It's all about being comfortable. Once you're comfortable with it, you can really have fun with it.
Yeah, that's really a thing. I might have to ask you to make a course for
Totally for. I am actually
for-
working
because
with a television show to do exactly that for one of the bands featured on the show. I am making a rocksmith thing for them, and then doing a instructional video as a one-off little fun thing. So I will do the exact same thing for this.
that's hell yeah. I will probably pick that up because I want to learn the chart. Just yeah, hearing all of stories of people struggling with it and just tossing it aside after looking at it for 10 minutes. I think it's
I'm
a certain point you have to get past. It's like if you that's it's like that step you can barely reach. But you need to stretch out a bit more.
Well, it's kind of the same with Rocksmith. That's why they have the 30-day challenge. You're not going to be perfect the first day. It's going to be a struggle. Your hands are going to hurt. You might be missing notes all the time. You're not sure, and you're like, I guess I'm not good at this game. And it's like, no, it's because you need practice. You need memory, muscle memory, and you'll get there. So when they do the 30-day challenge, you can see how you improve over those 30 days. It's now visible. And so, yeah, same thing with charting. I mean, my first chart was not amazing, but then I really figured it out, and so yeah.
Awesome.
I I remember when I first started and I couldn't even hit a note, and I remember getting excited because I hit a note. And now here I am practicing E-Rock and Through the Fire and the Flames religiously.
Sick. I actually played a speaking of Dragon Force, I'm gonna look at the picture because it was a couple of days ago. Soldiers of the Wasteland.
Oh.
I am a rhythm player. I know it's not as impressive as, you know, Lead is, but I hit 79% on a chart.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Nice.
I had a mess on my desk, but
Nice.
that
Good
does say
job, dude.
79. And in the small time, I picked up Rocksmith again and practiced more. That felt so good. That felt so good.
Yeah,
Just
we all just
reaching
spray
a
and
certain
pray.
milestone, seeing those numbers go up every time you play, that does something. And if it doesn't go up, you have to challenge yourself. Like, hey, what did I do wrong? Is there something I could, try?
Makes
Maybe
you think analytically about your playing a little bit.
So
Yeah.
my first like major goal of my first year of playing guitar was I wanted to get Through the Fire and the Flames up to 80% accuracy by the end of my first year. I managed achieving that a month and a half early.
Hey, that's good, right?
That's playing it every single day. I remember the first time I played that damn song and I managed to hit 55% of the notes and I was like, well, this sucks. And that was like 6-7 months after I started learning and I was like, what the hell, I'll start practicing this more. And one thing I gotta tell people who are just picking up guitar, watch your idols. Watch how they play. Actually study their techniques. Because that's how I learned how to play over the neck for Through the Fire and Flames. And that is the only way I will do it now. Because it is easier to do it that way. I figured out it's not just to be flashy. There is a practical way of doing or behind doing it. Because it is easier to stretch your index finger than it is to stretch your pinky.
I'll just learn bass. You stretch.
Or just turn basic.
And
You know, Red, not
I
everything
noticed
can be solved with a bass.
Yes.
actually, my stretch problem
I'm
has
sorry,
been solved by a
not
bass.
with that, not with that attitude. Everything could be solved with a bass.
More
I
bass.
I actually improved my stretches by playing bass.
Yeah, but
It's interesting.
ooh,
okay.
I couldn't do this before, but I can now by playing bass.
There's a
The
lot. I mean, even in the 80s, you had Paul Gilbert and Steve
Maze,
Wonder
no,
who stretched
please,
for
baby, don't.
videos on stretching.
or Jimmy Page even.
Jim Root.
Uh huh.
So the cat just decided now was the time to jump on the keyboard.
Of course.
Baby, that way,
Why
please.
you need a decoy
See,
keyboard.
this is why I'm a dog man. I do like cats, don't get me wrong, but I'm definitely more of a dog guy.
You
Oh, she
were
thinks he's a
you
dog.
were
She'll play
you were
fetch.
She'll
Sorry.
play fetch?
She does. She brings her toys to you.
Are you
Right.
sure she's a cat?
I mean, we have a Bengal kitten, so that
I
should,
hope so.
Oh,
explain.
those are semi-energetic, right?
Semi is taking it lightly. We have to, sometimes lock her up for harassing our elderly cats. We have two 20-year-old cats, which she likes to
Ooh.
harass from time to time, especially the leader.
Yep.
It's yeah, it's very dangerous, especially on the stairs. She doesn't mind the area as long as she gets to fight or play. Cats do. We've had them tumble down the stairs a couple of times. They're unharmed, and we don't know how they're still alive because they're 20 years old, but they're doing really well.
Nice.
Uh,
Yeah,
For 1 second, she is attacking the rug.
of
Fantastic.
course.
No, I've just had an affinity for cats all my life, so I don't know what it is, but they kind of seem to be awesome.
I like dogs because so every day I go over to my mom's house to walk her dog because Toby is a cute little
Sorry about
fluff ball. You're fine.
Fine.
But I just like the personality that comes with dogs, you know. They're always so happy and energetic and as weird as it's gonna sound, I like that they're codependent because you can be codependent on each other then, because you're more often than not, like, I've always had dogs that could tell if you were sad or something like that and just wanted to snuggle.
Hmm.
I gotta go with Rubber Dave on this one.
No.
Today.
When was the last time your cat tried to lick your face? About half a week ago.
I think today for me.
Every day when I go over to my mom's place, my mom's dog Toby will jump on my lap and maul me because he's so happy to see me, and I love that. I just love that. It's always coming home to someone who's happy to see you.
Sometimes when I come in, she will literally like pounce up onto my shoulder. So I'm not.
She
Yeah,
has a perch.
Our kitten learned to do that as well. She literally sits on the stairs, wait for you either to go upstairs or come down from the stairs, jumps on your shoulder, and then
So
claws and all, and doesn't let go for a while.
Okay, so I got a question for all the cat owners and guitars. Okay, how do you
Mhm.
keep them from trying to rip apart your guitar strings?
aren't
Keep them in
into-
bags, and they don't.
Yeah,
they are
make sure you
interested
throw
in-
them away quickly because
No,
yeah.
they just don't attack my guitar strings.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, she's not. She's kind of scared of guitars after doing it to an acoustic guitar and going, "Oh, that's really loud," and she hasn't.
Nice.
Any questions on Editor on Fire or charting? Or
Yeah,
Shredfest?
that going back on
It's
top.
mainly
right?
just cat questions and cat things in
Mainly
chat.
cat question.
Right.
But if I have something to add, it's because we've all set our bands for Shredfest, and I was like, let's wait. But if I may,
I mean,
Well,
one
know.
of the things we have talked about when COVID finally kind of loses its grip is to try to do something with people close by. Like if you have people who live fairly close to each other, we can do kind of a mini thing with those kind of groups if
Yeah.
possible, or even at the TwitchCon whenever that happens again,
So
having some kind of
Um,
event from a convention or just people
Yeah,
going to each other.
I
Yeah.
suggest if you're doing something, I suggest Munich, not just because I live here.
I suggest,
about that.
for the people in the States, I'd suggest, San Diego, fucking TwitchCon.
TwitchCon's pretty good, as well as like I'm based in Los Angeles, and I know that there are a lot of other streamers that I talk with that play Rocksmith. They're in like Orange County, Anaheim, Irvine, all these kind of sub counties that are in the Los Angeles area ish. So that, along with San Diego, an extra hour commute is fine.
Yeah,
You know.
see, next year I'm planning on switching jobs, so I'll only be working 6 months out of the year. So I'll have plenty of time to travel a lot more.
That'll be the
So
fun time we can actually get together and stream because Rocksmith has multiplayer. If you can have local multiplayer. I've got
Yes.
2 cables. Everyone should invest in 2 cables.
And
mhm.
drop pedals.
See,
Drop
what
out.
would be cool is say if you could get like a laptop that can handle Rocksmith well and streaming well, because you do need a powerful processor. Have like co-stream guitar battles, man.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I've had a few guitar battles on Twitch now because I had some guy come in a couple of weeks ago who was like, "Yeah, let's have a guitar battle right now. I've been playing for 13 years." And I'm like, "I've been playing for 16 months. Like, why you gotta do this? Like, why you gotta try to school me, man?" So he challenges me to Highway to Oblivion by Dragon Force. I've played that song twice. One time before that, and I was like, okay, fine, screw it, whatever, friendly competition, whatever, fine. And so we ended up doing it. I won, by the way. And well, he got 65%, I got 75%, so I'll take that, especially because Then he came in and was like, yeah, you need to have a Floyd Rose to shred. I'm like, have you met Eric Johnson / pretty much any of the major shredders out there? Like, the only ones that really use them are like Herman Lee, for example, because you need that floating bridge and stuff like that.
Yep.
And yeah, it was satisfying. It was really satisfying. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it'd be nice to finally have a post-pandemic like multiplayer stream for people.
Mm.
I know, right? Like, I would happily invest in a decent laptop so that I could travel across the country and do a co-stream with Rocksmith with somebody. That would be fun.
100%. I just miss live music so much, and I think
Yeah.
everyone is in the same boat. Where safely, of course, we all just want to get back out there.
I love that some bands do live concerts through like Twitch or their own website stuff, and
Yeah,
I really appreciate that they do. But that first concert, I'm gonna kiss the stage.
I
Just-
will worship the
yeah.
ground it stands on.
Yeah, the reason why I mainly want to go to concerts is so that I can lick people's faces in mosh pits.
See,
Face
you can lick my
elbows.
face all you want. I'm vaccinated, so I don't care.
for me, it's to go to every concert and pick up any guitar tab book they have.
that's awesome.
Like I just go to the merch table. Just bring me to the merch table.
Yeah,
Don't lick doorknobs.
but you play bass, so does that mean you lick Windows?
No. Windows is shite. Go with Linux.
I mean, of
I
course
like-
I must say, of course, I like Windows. I've got 2 of them behind me.
Wrong with there.
I don't
still
see
hate them
tongue
when I-
prints on it, though. That's the thing. I don't see the streaks.
All hail Linux. That's what I say.
Yeah, I know you and I have talked a couple times about the superior operating system. Which, not gonna lie, I probably would have went with Linux too, but
You
yeah.
see-
I can't get Rocksmith to run on. Well, I can get it to run, but I can't get it to detect the real-time cable. That's a
Yeah,
different story.
You're doing it
You-
fine.
You say the superior operating system, but everyone knows the superior browser is Internet Explorer.
Oh God, he's got me.
Firefox.
Internet
I-
Explorer doesn't even exist anymore. It's Edge.
Yeah.
So
It's-
I
No,
Oh,
sorry, it's
you
Internet Edge,
would
yeah.
think that, Scarlett, but if you work with any kind of enterprise legacy system,
True.
IE6 is still a valid browser.
True. That is true.
IE6.
My last job still had IE.
Whoa.
6.
It was terrible. It was slow as hell, and it didn't work half of the time.
yep.
No.
We had it.
But because of ActiveX, which is a complete shite and no one should ever use it, it still exists. Because the bigger the business, the less it wants to change.
Mm.
And big banks will still have a machine running fucking IBM OS 2
Yeah.
in the back, which hasn't been in any kind of support since like 1980 something,
Yeah.
because it just works and they don't want to move it.
It's
Oh
terrible.
well, yeah.
That is
But-
god awful.
I think
Absolutely.
Simon wants to say something.
Yes. No, it's been wonderful being part of this stream this evening, but I now need to go to bed. It's 2 a.m. at the moment. I woke up at 4:30 yesterday morning.
Currently,
Yeah.
it's 1:53 a.m. in the
Yeah,
morning.
we should.
Yeah.
we should probably host someone.
I will just want to say
I
thank
think-
you all for this amazing experience, and thank you
Absolutely, yes.
for
Of course. Thank you guys
having
for
me be part of the events team now.
Same
yeah.
here. Thank you for having me on. And
Yeah. With the events team again, I'm sorry in retrospect and in advance of what's going to happen.
I mean,
Fantastic.
it could be worse. I'm stuck here, so we can all
would
be
say-
terrible together.
Well, we're all stuck in the middle with you.
Yep. So, who
Boo.
should we Host
So
Well,
slash raid.
we have SR, we have Base Dude, we have Air Trooper, Zombies Are Cuddly, Red Varg.
Hey, Guitar Fool.
Say
Yes.
on the coding aspect, the one great thing is this community has a multitude of coded tools for everything, whether it's to customize how your Rocksmith runs, of course, how to play custom DLC, how to make custom DLC, all the things in between, how to turn your Rocksmith into a green screen so that you have better streaming. Having all these little plugins where you can request a song and it'll show you what the song is. It'll find songs for you. It'll automatically enumerate the songs.
Speaking of
All
the green
that
screen
stuff is
thing,
amazing, and there's even more mods and stuff coming out. There's tons of ones being worked on right now, even in the Discord.
It's
Right.
insane. The support this game and this entire community. It's awesome that this exists.
right?
Yeah, we
Really, it's yeah.
at one point we
words.
need to do like a rig rundown for like one or two streamers and just see how they set up everything they do.
I
Yeah.
have to clean up my desk a lot.
Right.
Same. It's kind of a
Um,
mess right now, even though I clean it a bit.
So I am thinking we host Base Dude since he's kind of lacking on
Yeah.
the viewership at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let-
boy.
let-
Amazing base.
Let's
Dude,
go with Base Dude. That's a good choice.
That might
And
have
maybe
some
we can
eight-
even get him to bust out the stand-up bass.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's a beautiful.
make him play him one of
Mhm.
Mark stand up.
Hell yeah! All right, so
That'd actually be badass.
hang on, I gotta get back. Oh
He
god!
did, and it was awesome.
All right, so
Oh no, Flinchy, what did you break?
yeah, I'm breaking things as per usual. That's what I do as a lead player.
Hell yeah.
Next thing you
See,
know, I'm gonna be
that's-
slamming my guitar.
You don't have a rhythm and bass and drum to back you up. See, that's where you go wrong.
Well, I have a bass, I have an LTD, and I have an Ibanez for shredding. So I have all three. I have the trifecta here.
No, but you're missing that fifth
The
out of
electric
fourth.
bass.
Five string.
Fourth.
That's
Something
true.
that something I have noticed with my Ibanez is that somehow I've managed to get some of the paint off of it. I don't know how, so you can see the wood underneath. I'm fully tempted just to cover it over with nail
Oh
polish.
Jesus!
I-
All right, so
I-
boys and girls, I'm
I-
going to send
natural
this
wood.
raid. I'm gonna send the raid. So, any
Let's
final
Yeah.
words?
go!
Peace out, people.
Aboard the raid train. Thank you all for watching.
And it's sent.